You are welcome again to HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. While the government wants us to believe that R. Kelly is the violent one, and that every woman he was with was an angel who could not lie about her age or try to blackmail R. Kelly for monetary gain, the truth is actually very different and has been this way since his ordeal started. There are so many things these women have done that will make you think twice about blaming R. Kelly for what they refer to as ordeals they had to go through while living under his roof. Questioning how they ended up under his roof and in his care alone is a day's topic that we cannot discuss and exhaust in this 8-minute video. But remember, there were confessions made during the court trials suggesting these women were at some points delivered to him by their own parents whenever they wanted to meet with R. Kelly. Also important to recall is that these women have made numerous contradicting statements about this situation, that we can no longer be sure which of these was the truth and which information was deceitful. These women are so unconsolidated and will say anything that make them feel better by the moment. Their ability to change dramatically almost concerned me. But then I remember that most women in relationships will do this, and for a moment I am relieved to know that all they are suffering from is broken hearts, considering the love of their lives is currently locked up in prison and unavailable to them. It is therefore logical to conclude that some of their dramatic actions and reactions to this situation is just another form of hysteria. The sad part, however, being that the authorities who were meant to detect this and stop the drama against R. Kelly have either not been able to diagnose this, or have deliberately chosen to give a deaf ear and a blind eye. In another dramatic video by Azriel Clary, she is seen ripping a $6,000 Versace coat that belongs to R. Kelly like it was a piece of garbage, and chanting out words that were a little too harsh for most ears and were therefore muted out. Take a look.
We gonna get some therapy out and cause I'm so tired of like, oh my god, she's wearing his coat. Use me.
While she wants us to believe she did this to get over R. Kelly, who she controversially claims she still loves in the very same video, this is not the case. It's just another act of convenience to legitimize their false stories about R. Kelly. After confessing to intentions and attempts to blackmail R. Kelly together with their parents in some previous interviews, their names have been tainted. For them to clear this up, they have to play the victim card by doing all sorts of crazy things, the reason we are seeing them engage in such actions. It is important to note that before the coat-cutting video, there had been a report made, and a Twitter post that accompanied it that suggested Azriel Clary had stolen R. Kelly's expensive clothes, labeling her a thief. It was not until this report was made that she decided to make the coat-ripping video and deliberately share it on her Instagram, a move that was only intended to make her look innocent, and to make the world think she don't really care about material things. If she didn't care about material things, why did she have to take R. Kelly's cloths with her, and most especially made sure to pick out such expensive pieces? And why did she wait until after those who knew it belonged to R. Kelly saw her make poses and take pictures wearing it? While the jacket is no big deal, this action serves to prove what kind of people the government teamed up with and used to take down R. Kelly. A person who can risk theft charges by leaving with R. Kelly's cloths where they belong could easily settle for a few hundreds of dollars to testify against him. We don't know what really happened that saw them change their minds from defending their man to testifying against him and taking his clothes. But what we know is the government must have cornered them into doing this by threatening charges against each one of them. The guilty conscience for having accepted to lie about R. Kelly and send an innocent man to prison is finally catching up with these people. It's not something simple that you can do and forgive yourself just like that. It's as heavy as things can feel after you've murdered someone. R. Kelly's life has been taken away, and his 30-year career he tried to share with these women destroyed just like that. That is quite so much for someone to live with, knowing they added a brick to it in one way or another. So when you see someone get destructive tearing up this and that, it's not because they are strong-spirited, but because they regret so much they have done, and this they cannot reverse. Whoever convinced these people to testify and mislead the court about what really happened is responsible for their current condition and position. According to Lily Johnson, No one does this unless they are hurt. However, it looks like her agony is largely due to R. Kelly's absence, not that he wronged her and she stopped loving him. She clearly still loves him and would bounce back to him if he got out of prison. She is simply trying to convince herself she is done with him, which ain't true. It looks like someone put her to the task of acting this drama to clear her name and conscience, but it clearly ain't working considering she knows well what the real truth is. Someone ought to advise her to stay off social media, considering she is only making things worse for herself by subjecting herself to further public scrutiny like this. According to Ricket Suave, the worst thing the parent of a young black girl can do is to lead that child to think that she is a princess. That child will most likely grow up believing she is entitled to the best things in life and will search for these things in all the wrong places. In this case, it looks like the parents helped her to get acting lessons and a nice bed to sleep on, but they forgot to teach her about patience and self-respect. When R. Kelly was there for them and taking good care of them, they felt they deserved even more. Now he is in jail and they still need to take his things like they own them, and rip them up when the public makes a comment about it. Those are actions from a person who feels entitled. Things must go their way and no one else's. Very funny. According to Johnson, sometimes I think about the women helping the government to pin down R. Kelly, and I wonder what he thought when he was deciding to team up with such people. They lack credibility at all levels and would give way too many red flags for someone to choose to spend money on them like Robert did. A person whose statement cannot remain valid for a few months before they find the need to change what they said to something completely different. I wouldn't associate myself with such persons if I were in his shoes. R. Kelly. There is one who called in on Tasha K. Live and spent almost an hour describing what R. Kelly was like in bed, all in the name of selling her book. Who does that in their right senses? If you wish to take part in a live interview on this channel discussing any of these topics, let us know by emailing us on sashahnnewsroom@gmail.com for scheduling. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say. To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.